What is up, guys? Figured I'd make a little video here to show off my autograph collection. Now some of you seen already a couple of my videos from like Flashback Weekend and Horror Hound recently, but someone suggested to me on one of my videos that I should make a video showing my entire collection, which I think is a pretty cool idea, because some of these that I've gotten like way over the years, like either at horror cons or wrestling shows or just, signings in general. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you my whole collection right here, right now for you. So this is my Robert Englund autograph that I got down at Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors in Chicago back in 2008, and this autograph just still looks very good, to this day still. And this one is Mr. Kane Hodder, Jason Voorhees. I picked this one up down at the Days of the Dead down in Chicago last year. And here is my Brad Dourif Chucky autograph here. This was from Flashback Weekend last year up in Chicago. And this one is one of my favorites. I got this one from Horror Hound last year in Indianapolis, Mr. Kiefer Sutherland. This was just so awesome to meet this guy. He's got a killer signature, and I just love this picture. And down here is Tony Todd. You've obviously seen this autograph from one of my last videos, Candyman. And this one, Mr. Doug Bradley, Pinhead. I picked this up I met him down at, what was it? Oh yeah, it was Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors back in 2008. And right here is Mr. Nick Castle, Michael Myers. And I met him down at the Horror Hound in Indianapolis last year. And this one is definitely, I just love this one right here, Mr. George Romero. I met him at Fangoria's Weekend of Horror Chicago back in 2009. I'm just so glad that I finally got to meet George Romero. He's so fucking badass. And right here is Steve Dash, the real Jason from Friday the 13th too, not that fucking Lime Warrington, Gillette, Warrington, whatever the fuck his name is. And Miss Heather Langenkamp and Amanda Wiss, Nancy and Tina from Nightmare on Elm Street. I met Amanda Wiss down at Horror Hound in Indianapolis last year, and this was my autograph from Heather Langenkamp back at Flashback Weekend last month. Here we have Mr. Mark Patton, Jesse Walsh from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, who I think was who put on probably the best performances ever in the entire Nightmare on Elm Street series. I just love his portrayal of Jesse in Nightmare 2, and I can't wait to see his documentary that he's got, Scream Queen, My Nightmare on Elm Street. And right here, Mrs. Naomi Grossman, who played Pepper in American Horror Story Asylum and Freak Show. I met her down at the Wizard World down in St. Louis about, I think it was 4 years ago. Was it about 4? Yeah, it was about 4 years ago, I think it was. But that was down in Wizard World down in St. Louis. Now, I've been a huge wrestling fan all my life, and these two right here are very dear to me. Like, I was just so grateful to finally meet these two. These here were my childhood heroes when I was a kid. I literally worshiped the fucking ground these guys walked on. And that is Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. I met Ultimate Warrior first back in 2014 down in Oak Lawn, Illinois at a local wrestling show. And there's a video of him talking to me, giving me, like advice and stuff like that, because he was just that cool of a guy. You can see that on my channel. I think I have another channel. I think it's on that one as well. Anyway, and I met Hulk Hogan down at C2E2 back in 2015 down in Chicago, and it was just so fucking killer to finally meet my childhood heroes. Like literally, these were my childhood heroes when I was a kid. So I'm just so fucking badass that I finally got to meet them. Oh, and how can I forget the greatest of all time, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! I met him down at Days of the Dead about 3 years ago down in Chicago, and he was just such a cool dude. It was just so fucking badass meeting Ric Flair. And here is Shannon Elizabeth. Well, you've seen this autograph from my last video from American Pie. I met her down at Whorehound, obviously, if you watched the last video. Okay, this one's pretty cool. Here we have Mr. Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster in the Munsters. I actually met him at at Monster Vinyl, which is like about a couple miles down from where I live, over in Collinsville, and he was up there doing a signing, and it was really cool to see him. And he was also at Horrorhound, but I didn't get his autograph again. It was this year. Yeah, this year he was down at Horrorhound. And here we have Miss Fairuza Balk from The Craft and The Waterboy, Return to Oz. You pick your favorite. I met her down at Days of the Dead in Chicago 2 years ago. And she was really cool. And here are my two Bill Moseley autographs right here. Here we have Chop Top. This was from Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors back in 2009, and he wrote, "Lick my plate, you dog dick," which he actually said while he was signing. He was reciting the whole fucking line while signing the picture, and I was geeking out like a motherfucker. And here is his autograph of Otis. "I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work." And he put two little devil horns on there, which I thought was pretty cool. So it's always an awesome time seeing Bill. I've actually met him like 5-6 times, I'd say. And here we have the legendary Sid Haig, Captain Spaulding. "Do I stutter, bitch?" He signed this down at the... Well, actually, this was actually the first time I've met Sid. I got this at Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors in Chicago back in 2008. And really nice guy. Really nice guy. And here is Tom Towles, who was also in Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, but I just liked him in House of a Thousand Corpses, and he wrote, "Cut the crap, Spaulding." Really cool dude. I actually saw him at the after party. This was also Fangoria's Weekend of Horrors Chicago of 2008, and I got to hang out with him at the after party too, and he was such a fucking awesome dude to hang around with. He was pretty drunk, but he was still a fucking hell of a dude. Rest in peace, Tom Towles. And here we have Mr. John Kassir, the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt. I love this guy's signature. I like how he used the green marker for this picture. It just looks so fucking badass with that green right there. And I met him back at Days of the Dead at Indianapolis. Was last year. Yeah, it was really cool to see this guy. And Alice fucking Cooper. This was really awesome because I'm a big Alice Cooper fan, and I heard when I heard he was going to be at the Days of the Dead back in 2016 in Chicago, I was like, I gotta fucking be there. And this was so cool to meet Alice Cooper. I think he wrote "Your Pal," I think it says up there, and he wrote Alice Cooper on there, so that's fucking badass. And these next two are Alex Vincent. I met Andy Barkley from the first Child's Play and the new Cult of Chucky. I met him back at Flashback Weekend last year. That was the year that Brad Dourif was there, and Christina Lease from Child's Play 2 was there, and it was really cool to meet Andy Barkley. I'll also make another video showing a lot of my photo ops that I've got over the years too. So, because I have them in my last two videos, but not my entire collection from over the years. And this one is a really good one right here. Betsy Palmer, Mrs. Voorhees herself. And I met her at this was also Fangoria 2008 Chicago, and she was without a doubt the sweetest person I ever. I think she was the only one that did not charge me for this autograph, because this was 2008, so autographs back then were like $20, depending like that's pretty damn cheap, even for back, even, that was about a few years ago. But I had the silver, weekend package, and a lot of the other guests were charging me for autographs because it was a picture at their table. But she was the only one that did not charge me for an autograph, even though I had, I picked out, it was a picture from her table, and she still didn't charge me for it. So she was a really, really, really sweet lady, and rest in peace, Betsy Palmer. You'll be missed and loved by many. Now these next two I have here are Tom Savini. I really like this picture. I like his signature right here from Dusk Till Dawn. And here we have Ari Lehman, the first Jason from Friday the 13th. I actually ended up cutting a bit of this picture out. As you can see right here, I tried to fit in the frame, but it just looks stupid. But oh well, I just keep all my autographs in the book now. This is him. This was Fangoria 2008 Chicago, and I met Tom Savini the following year, back in 2009, in Chicago as well for Fangoria. Here we have Michael Berryman from The Hills Have Eyes and Devil's Rejects. And he wrote, "I ain't no chicken fucker." This dude was really cool and neat. I talked to him briefly when I was there. This was flashback weekend of last year in Chicago. And this next one here is Miss Felissa Rose, Angela from Sleepaway Camp. And she wrote, "Meet me at the waterfront after the social." And she was a fucking hell of a person to be around. So full of energy and really loves her fans. And so hopefully I get to see her again soon. And we have the ladies of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Miss Marilyn Burns here. It was so awesome to meet Marilyn Burns. Because to me, she is the fucking Scream Queen. And if you freaking disagree or whatever, then whatever, that's your opinion. But this chick here is the fucking Scream Queen. Not Jamie Lee Curtis, that's just my opinion. All she did was fucking squeal in Halloween. Anyway, and we have Miss Carolyn Williams from Texas Chainsaw 2. Meeting the two ladies of Texas Chainsaw was awesome. I met Marilyn Burns in Fangoria. I met both of them actually at Fangoria 2009 Chicago. It was really cool for them both to be there. Now I actually love this one because I'm such a huge fan of this movie. Mr. John Heater, Napoleon Dynamite. It was actually funny because I have a story about this. When I went to meet him, we actually did a scene from Napoleon Dynamite. Like, he was doing the Napoleon face, for people when taking pictures. He would do the voice and all this other stuff. And I got him to reenact a scene. It was the scene where Kip and Napoleon are pushing each other around. Let's see what your best move is. And he slaps him in the face, and I begged John Heater. I was like, "Dude, can you please slap me in the face?" Because I came all the way from the St. Louis area to come meet you. And he goes, "Dude, I just can't do it. I can't slap it." I go, "Come on, dude, just fucking do it." And he goes, "Okay, I'll go get it." And he slaps me right in the face. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, that was awesome." And this was Days of the Dead, 27, no, was it? 2016, yeah, it was 2016 actually, in Chicago. And here we have Mr. Jason Mewes. And I met Jason Mewes down at Wizard World down in St. Louis, along with Naomi Grossman. He was there too. I just fucking love what he signed right here. I told him to write Snoochie Boochies, and then here at the bottom he wrote, "I love comics and ass." So I was like, okay, dude, that's pretty fucking hilarious. So it was really cool to meet Jason Mewes. I'm a huge fucking fan of Jay and Silent Bob. And here we have Miss Ashley Lawrence Christie from Hellraiser. And I met her at Fangoria 2008 down in Chicago. And here we have Andrew Robinson, who played Sergeant Botnick in Child's Play 3. This is my favorite role of his because he's done so many things. I think he was in Star Trek, and he was in Dirty Harry and Hellraiser. But this will always be my favorite performance that he wrote. To Jordan, "Presto, you're dead." Originally, I wanted him to write "Presto, you're a bald," but I don't think he heard me saying bald. But he just wrote, "Presto, you're dead." And another funny thing about meeting Andrew Robinson was, there's a scene in Child's Play 3 where he's checking everybody's haircuts, he's pulling their hair, and he sees this guy with a bald head, and he goes, "My man," because I guess he just likes bald guys or whatever. And I went up to him and goes, "Dude, I got a bald head. You got to do it to me." So I kind of leaned my head forward. He goes, "My man," and I was like, "Fuck yeah, that was really cool." So that was so cool for him to do that. Oh. Now, aside from horror in general, this was one of my first comedy shows I ever went to, and I met the great Gilbert Gottfried. He performed down at the Argosy Casino down in Alton. This was back in 2009, and it was really cool to meet Gilbert Gottfried. A lot of people had like Aladdin DVDs and stuff over there for him to sign, but I was like, damn, I should have brought my Aladdin DVD to have him sign, but I actually had this picture made. It's a little 8x10, and I had him sign it right here. Gilbert Gottfried. And here we have Mr. Richard Keel, who played Mr. Larson in Happy Gilmore, and he wrote, "See you in the parking lot." That was pretty cool. He was really big. My God, his hands were so fucking huge just when I shook his hand. And here we have another great wrestling legend that we just lost, Mr. Harley Race. I met him at his, he has a wrestling organization called WLW, I think it's called, and they had a show down in Eldon, Missouri, and he always does signings like before his show, so I went and met Mr. Harley Race. I think this was 2000, God, what year was this? I think it was 2009 or 2010, I really can't recall. And this was actually the first time I met Kane Hodder. This was the first autograph I got from him. This was Fangoria of 08, Chicago. And when I grabbed the picture, I like this picture here, but he used a dark marker. And that's just something that just fucking bugs the shit out of me when people sign stuff in really dark spots with dark marker. And I don't know, that's just me. I'm pretty sure you guys are the same way. He signed my 8x10, and he also had this little card from Jason X, and he signed it right there as well, which I thought was pretty cool. And here's a couple more Texas Chainsaw autographs here. Marilyn Burns and John Duggan, who played Grandpa, and I also have his autograph right here as Grandpa. Now, more wrestling autographs. Right here we have Mr. Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid. This one here isn't actually personalized to me, which really bugged me, because I met him back in May down at Motor City Comic Con, and I guess he arrived late or something like that, and he didn't have time to personalize everything, which I think is kind of stupid. All you gotta do is just write somebody's name, but oh well. He signed it. I like it. You know, he's a big superstar. I'm glad to have him in my collection. And here we have Gene Snitsky and Tyson Tomko, Bushwhacker, Luke, and this is actually Randy Orton right here, because it's funny because my dad was out riding his motorcycle, because I'm from the St. Louis area where Randy Orton's from, and there's a town called Grafton, which is across the river, and my dad just happened to be riding his motorcycle that day, and he saw Randy Orton at the gas pump, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's Randy Orton!" So he started talking to him, and he goes, "Hey, did you sign something for my son?" And he went ahead and signed this right here. I don't know what the hell it is, but But it was really cool for Randy Orton to sign. Haven't met him yet, but I got his autograph. So, and a couple more. We've got 3 more here, and they're all wrestlers. Here we have the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. I actually met him at my old church a few years back, River of Life Family Church down in Alton. He was there doing a sermon, and I got to get his autograph after the sermon there. And the Masterpiece, Chris Masters. I actually met him at Harley Race's show that same day I met Harley. And last one, like 8x10 wise, I have Mr.